What's going on, everybody? Andres here from Linx. Today we're going to answer your most common YouTube ad questions. These are questions that you guys have posted inside our YouTube ad buyers group. If you're yet to join our group, we have a link in the description. Remember, it's free to join. Let's dive right into the questions. So we have Mantas here. We have been running Google Shopping campaigns for a while now, and we want to start running YouTube ads for the same product in the same Google ad account. Does the past conversion data facilitate for the optimization for YouTube ads? For example, if we have enough conversions in the account from Google Shopping, would it make sense to start running YouTube ads with target CPA? Or would we need to consider it as a new account for YouTube ads? Montes, that is a great question, okay? If you haven't done YouTube ads, you don't have any history on your video campaigns network, that's okay. But you do have Google Search or you have Google Shopping, there is data on the account. So remember, there are settings that are set on the campaign level, ad level, as well as the account level, right? You can definitely test that out. Right? There's going to be moments where or other instances where you'll launch target CPA campaigns with no history at all, and your account won't spend, your campaigns won't spend for your YouTube ads, right? So in that case, we encourage to do max conversions until you get 50 conversions and basically analyze the cost per conversion at that point. And that would be your target CPA bid essentially, right? So I would most definitely look at the last 30 days historical for your Google Shopping, specifically the cost per conversion. Use that as a target CPA bid and just try it out. I guess that's my biggest response. Try it out. If it spends properly, there you go. Great. Continue building off of that. The cost per conversion is going to change. It's going to either go up and down, and just make sure that you do it accordingly, right? And if it doesn't spend for you, let's say you tried it at maybe a higher bid, right? So try it at a higher bid. If it doesn't work, increase it 30%, 50%. That still doesn't work, try max conversions. That's what I would do, Mansis, with that. All right, thank you for your question. Leonidas Kaplan asks, how do you optimize for video played to 75% in Google Ads? I know this is possible in Facebook ads, but is there an ability in Google Ads to do this? All right, Leonidas, video played 75%, that's not something you can actually segment for. You can actually put different audiences together around YouTube users. People who actually viewed your ad in the last 3 days, last 7 days, last 14 days, that you can segment by, but not by the watch time. The average watch time, you can see those metrics, but you will not be able to target those individuals, right? One way that you could do it though is you could actually, if you have a video on your lander, let's say if it's a book a call funnel, it's a VSL, then you can actually set up on Google Tag Manager, and this would be maybe for another day. We do have video up here about setting up Google Tag Manager, but with Google Tag Manager, what you could do is you can set up different events, custom events for people who have watched more than 5 minutes of your video, you know, or even the scroll depth, right? There's different events that you can set up as Google conversions, and you can basically create different audiences off of those, right? So people who have viewed, you know, more than 50% of your VSL, you can put them in a specific bucket and later retarget to them. But you can't do it from an ad perspective, right? It would have to be more broad, like if they viewed your ad for the last 30 days, last 60 days, and so on. Okay, hope that answered your question, Leonidas. Next question, Destiny Salter asks, hi, I'm a newbie here. I'm using video placements for one of my campaigns, and so far it has no impressions. The ad isn't being shown to anybody. I put about 200 video placements. Does anybody know why this is happening and how I can fix it? Destiny, that's a great question. And I've encountered these as well, even to this day, even with 300 specific video placements, and you know, ensuring that I have the demographic right, I have my bidding right. It's max conversions, target bidding strategy, and it barely spends, right? It's like cents on the dollar it's spent. That does happen, right? So there's a couple of reasons for that. One, the videos that you are using as the placements, perhaps they're not monetized videos, right? And those don't get prioritized inside Google's algorithm. Another thing that could be is that there's just very low volume for those specific videos, right? And you know, usually when you have more than 500 YouTube video placement URLs, those do tend to work in certain niches. So it really depends on the niche that you're doing it in. For example, I did a placement campaign recently in the online, you know, education space, for example, and that placement campaign did not fire properly, right? So like we just kind of paused it, and it wasn't something that we really like rely on. And that's one thing I always talk about when people ask me, oh, hey, can we scale placement campaigns, or I want to do placement? People give it so much priority just because you can select the videos that you want your ad to show in, but it tends to kind of backfire, right? As you can see for the most part. My recommendation, Destiny, for you is don't do placement campaigns. Don't necessarily, spend so much time trying to make those work, right? Don't force something that's just not working there. I would focus more on, okay, let's try more broad audience if the niche is, deems adaptable for that, or even custom intent audiences, right? Look up your competitors and take a look at the URL. We actually have a video up here that we can show you how to create custom intent audiences, right? Versus custom affinity. So you can take a look at that video there to answer those questions. So thanks again, Destiny, for asking this question. All right, next question. We have Ryan John Collins. He asked, do you optimize for one goal or account goals? In my understanding, you're using the data Google has for each goal and saying, hey, Google, find more of these people. You also need 20, I think, conversions per week for Google to properly optimize. So if you have 20 plus leads, but only 5 sales, would you optimize for leads until the sales pick up? I've seen high-level media buyers leave all account goals, assuming it will make Google spend. What are your thoughts on this? Okay, hey, Ryan, great question. And these are just different things that can be tested, right? There's not one wrong over the other or one that's better over the other. I've seen results from having all account goal settings, and I've seen results by just selecting one specific campaign goal level setting, right? It depends on how the account is reacting during that time that you're launching these campaigns, and you can do just some comparisons, right? So let's say you want to do head-to-head comparison. You want to do one campaign that's like all account level settings and one that's one specific, let's say the purchase conversion action that you created, you want to focus on that goal level, right? Then you can just do a head-to-head split test. Obviously, there's cannibalization if you want to do the same ad, same audience, but you can at least get some data back and you can see which one's spending properly and which one is not, right? That's one test that we could do. Again, not one over the other. You could basically test both, and I've seen results from both, right? So hopefully that answered your question there, Ryan. Last but not least, we have Ben Beck. He says, there's a campaign with one keyword that converts 5 times the ad spend. It starts getting low quality leads, wrong demographics, as soon as I increase the ad spend. Completely normal, Ben, but let me finish reading the question here. If I keep it at $50 a day, it continues to work well. My alternative ideas for getting more similar traffic are, 1, instead of boosting the budget, I copy and paste and run the exact same campaign side by side. I doubt they can compete with the $50 spend since it consumes the entire budget. And number 2, I copy and paste the same campaign, but I run it at different times. One of them is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The other's from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Any suggestions? Ben, so first of all, when you try to vertically scale a campaign, you're gonna get those that have a certain threshold and they don't work after that specific daily budget threshold, right? So if $50 a day is working for you, then if you try pushing it to $70 a day, right? You have to be maybe more clear on what it is that you're pushing or how much you're pushing it to, right? That also has a lot of weight in this. So, did you go from $50 a day to $200 a day or to $1,000 a day, or from $50 to $100 a day, right? And then it stops working. So those are the things that you need to answer. And if you see that collectively and consistently you're seeing $50 campaigns working and hitting your goals, then do horizontal scale and launch more campaigns, similar campaigns to what you have, create similar audiences, the same demographic, best winning ad, and just scale those horizontally. You can have $150 campaigns that are profitable for you, and boom, now you're scaling. In terms of your ideas, what you put here, instead of boosting budget, copy and paste, run the exact same one. I would probably hold off from doing that because yes, they can compete with each other, right? And the results they're not gonna be clean, right? So then your other option is saying, in terms of the scheduling, one of them 6 a.m., 6 p.m., that's definitely something I haven't tested specifically. I would say by all means, give it a try, see if that gives a difference. But people want to create one campaign, and I'm talking in general here, and for myself too, this would be something that all media buyers or entrepreneurs would aspire to, is that we create 1 or 2 campaigns and we're able to push it from $50 to $10,000 a day. That usually does not happen, right? It's kind of like saying, hey, you're a Forex trader, right? You can invest $200 today, and then in 3 months, you'll have $20,000. How often does that usually happen? Probably not that often, right? So it's kind of the same deal here is you need to observe your data and understand, okay, what are the limitations with this, right? Remember, Google also gives you some of the recommendations. Take it with a grain of salt. I would say review them and see, if you have a campaign that says limited by budget, then it means you have an opportunity there. It means that the audience size is large enough where you can spend more money and Google can reach more potential customers that are similar to what you're optimizing for, right? So you have to, in essence, put things to the test, and you have to push that budget to the test to a certain degree. And you want to do gradual increments, right? That's one way that you can kind of get past that $50 mark and say, okay, we pushed it, and our lead costs were $30 a lead. When we pushed it, it went up to $50 a lead, but you're still converting. Are you converting better? Yes, no. If it's not something that's not working, then you just move on, right? I don't know how many tests you've done, Ben, but you would need to kind of test some more to a point where maybe you need a better ad, right? You need a better audience ad combination that'll give you maybe $10 leads. And when you scale it from $50 to $200, that $10 lead going to $30 lead that maybe you're comfortable with is not that bad. But now you have a campaign spending at $200 a day, let's say consistently, getting you these leads at a consistent CPA and hitting your goals. Keyword campaigns are not as scalable as if you did a custom intent audience with those same keywords, because now it's opening up a different scope. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you heard, if you enjoyed the information provided here, then you want to join our YouTube ad buyers group. It's free to join. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notifications, hit that little bell so you can get notified once we drop some more YouTube ad knowledge bombs for you. We'll see you in the next one.